I had a good friend of mine, Bob Fleming. He was from over near Rome, New York. Everybody called him Radio Bob because he could fix radios and TVs, and amplifiers. And when I would play in the area, I'd usually stay at his house. I'd sleep on his couch there, surrounded by 40 or so radios that he had fixed. And he had stuff, man, like the old wooden ones like they had on the Waltons. He had a bunch of Japanese ones from the 60s and the 70s. A lot of old RCA stuff from the 40s and the 50s. And I was staying with him one time, and I was admiring his radios, and I was asking him, well, what's that one? What's that one? And tell me about that one. He'd tell you about it, and I ain't described it the way an engineer does, so it bounced right off my head, He said, I tell you what, man, pick one and you can have it. And I said, great. And he had a Japanese one from, I don't know, like the early 60s. And it was like a foam orange. And when I was a kid, my grandmother, her name was Maydale, she had a Japanese foam orange radio that she got with S&H green stamps. That thing lived on her counter, which she was an old farm lady. She called it a drain board. That thing lived on her drain board, I don't know, hell, till she died. But I liked that one because it reminded me of my grandmother's radio. So I said, hey, Bob, how about that one? Man, he got this real worried look on his face. I said, man, that one's worth quite a bit of money. And I said, okay, well, I'll pay you for it. I just like it because I want that one because it's like the one my grandmother had. We used to listen to radio on. I wouldn't feel right charging you that much for it. I said, then discount it. But it's worth a lot of money. Okay, well, then give it to me. I can't really give that one away. I was like, okay, then sell it to me. I can't really sell it to you because you're a friend of mine. So I ended up not getting a radio. Anyway, I got back to Texas, wrote the song about him. So I had told him this story. Sometimes when I was staying at his place, I'd wake up. He wouldn't be awake yet. I'd just sit there and look at all them radios, and I'd try and peg them to a time period. So if you could turn one of them on and it would play the music that was popular at the time that radio was new, what would you hear? And I made up a story about Bob's Magic Radio. This song's called Bob's Radio. And it goes out to Radio Bob Fleming, and he died about 7 years ago, and I never did get my damn radio. Well, my friend Bob, he's got an old radio, and it sounds like one from about 50 years ago. He can turn it on, and he can tune it in, and he can make it play a song you ain't heard in God knows when. But there's still guitars, well, they ring like gold on Bob's radio. He plays western swing and country honk. There's a little bit of shuffle with a little bit of stone. Before it lost its grip and got hard to hear. Now it's all so slick, it slides right off your ear. But there's country rock and there's honky tonk there on Bob's radio. to Bob's radio, 'cause it's where I hear songs that don't get played anymore. Since the wheels all turned and the world got small, and now everything's moved and nothing's where it was before. Them old days are gone, but like the buffalo, except on Bob's radio. Them old days are gone, like the buffalo, except on Bob's radio. Thank you so much. And that's the song about Bob Fleming's radio collection. And I couldn't buy one, and I couldn't get one gifted to me.
Love you, Bob.
Here's to you, Bob.